Thank you. Good afternoon. So I was asked to come here and do a power talk, which I'm like, sure, that sounds great, until you start to actually think about what that means. And they say, well, just, sum up why this is your home, why you choose to bring your family here, why you choose to come here every Sunday, why you choose to pledge your money to this spiritual community. And so you go, okay, well, that should be easy. I'll just write it all down. And you got this list, and it's long. And you go, how long do I have? 4 minutes. You got 4 minutes. Do it in 4 minutes. This isn't going to work. So you have to narrow it down. So I came up with three things that were, I think, the biggest points to make around why this community ended up being my community. I was raised, my parents believed in a higher power God, never took us to church other than visiting someone else's church. My parents were always open to everyone else's kind of belief structure. And I wanted a little more, a little deeper. So I would meet various people in different aspects of my career, opportunities to meet a lot of folks and see them in their own spiritual path, and finding that I would see people who were connected to their source and their God in multiple places. I'd meet them and you could tell they're connected. They'd tell me their story and they're Seventh-day Adventist, or they were Baptist, or I worked with a man who was, during the time when the Islamic faith was getting a ton of negative press, who was one of the most beautiful, connected people and to their source and their God. And so I'd decide, hey, I'd do the hand raise thing. I want to be more connected to God. And you wouldn't believe it. There's a lot of people who say, oh, we've got the answers. And so I'd go to churches. And how many people went to CBEC this year? So if you remember, my daughter gave her speech on Wednesday night around how the community has served her. And she gave this whole talk about me dragging her from church to church to church to church. And I thought it wasn't that bad. Then I thought back, yeah, maybe it was that bad. And in my path, I would find that these folks are really nice. They'd bring me in. And the only way I could describe it, the best analogy I have, is like a restaurant, right? You'd go in and they'd say, come on in, we have a Subway shop. And you come in and you got all these choices. You can have turkey or ham or roast beef, and you can put any of the vegetables on it you want. And then you'd get excited and you'd be there and they're nice. And all of a sudden you're going, I've got a friend who eats sushi. She says it's amazing. And they're going, oh no, sushi's not in our box. Can't have sushi. What about pasta? Can we have pasta? Nope. Subways are very healthy, and you can live off them forever. And this is the one food that is the right food. And I would sit there and I go, but I know these other people eating other foods, and they love them, and they're nourished. And so I felt really kind of constrained by all these different places. And a friend of mine said, hey, I really think you'll like this church. You need to go check it out. And so I encourage you to do that. If she didn't do that one thing, not try to force them to, just say, I think you'd like it. Give it a try. If they do, great. If they don't. But do that, because that's what happened to me. And I came, and first day I was here, I didn't know what I was watching, but it was definitely different. I decided to come back to see what it was about. My second time I was here, there was a rabbi giving the presentation. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely open. And so for me, openness and acceptance and a bigger version with lots of ideas. This church has a full pantry, and they have guest chefs come in. Some teach you Subways, some teach you to do pizza, some teach you to make pasta. You got lots of paths. So that was really, really important to me. The second thing was tools. Life's hard. I did 20 years of school, and in those 20 years of school, they didn't teach me anything about how to manage my own emotional standing. They didn't teach me about how to find my true light and to stand to that and to stay in those places. I wasn't taught how to allow life to happen without me, without it affecting me in a really, really way that wasn't true to my own personal self. And the tools I get here between Beyond Limits and some of the financial courses and the different spiritual practice, I'm a spiritual practice, and learning all these different methods. And by the way, you get to choose which one makes sense for you. The tools that I learned just coming here every Sunday that I take with me into the world are really important. So first one was the openness. The second one was tools. And the third one for me was the youth program. And it's single father, 2 teenage daughters. If you think it's hard, you're right. And you want them to have a community, something that you trust. Like you're gonna they don't listen to you anymore, right? So you want them to listen to someone. It's not gonna be me. Who's it gonna be? And so you want them in an environment where you feel safe for them, that they feel loved and accepted. And so this community for my children has been amazing. My daughter came in and she was so skeptical after being so many. She just kind of said, I don't believe in God. I don't. And I said, cool, come on in, share with us. And her whole spiritual path has grown since that, and she's really coming into her own idea of what spirit and soul and God means to her. My other daughter said she came in the other community, she felt like if she didn't fit the mold of what that group was supposed to be, they were supposed to act this way, be this way, talk this way, do this way, that she felt that she couldn't share that aspect with them, that was just hers, and that here she could be anything she wanted. I mean, my analogy is that if you want to go ahead and read a Lord of the Flies book, it's in pretty much every high school, but it's also being demonstrated in their population. And this community is all loving and all caring, and those are the 3 points that I wanted to make about this community. So, thank you.